Hey everybody, the Bong is here for today's Q&A session for September 14th, 2014. Actually, I'm recording this on a Friday because I figured this would be the best time for me to record it. But I should have all your questions ready, so let's get started with them. And if you have any other questions that you haven't asked this week, you can ask them for next week's session. Alright, Devil Joe 193 says, so, Banga, bracket, I'm ready for the anti-Linux people to attack me for this. Oh, people actually like that? Have you ever considered using a free OS? Not really. I'm comfortable with Windows right now unless they really tear it apart. So if it gets really bad, then maybe I'll consider going to Linux or Ubuntu or whatever. But right now I'm very comfortable where I'm at. I just don't see myself using Mac anytime soon. And he says he has used free software for his channel, and the results have been great despite my paltry hardware. That's what he says. If you ever consider using a free OS, you can feel relieved that most emulators blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that because, well, there's no other part of the question. It's just mostly flavor text, so I'm just going to avoid boring you guys and just let you know that, hey, if you got Linux, there are ways you can work around it. Adam Valero has a few questions, actually. Will you watch Sonic Boom TV show? Probably not, because I'm not that big in the Sonic series. I don't even know what they did with Knuckles there. He looks like he took steroids. Will you LP Elite Beat Agents for the DS? Probably not. I like to avoid DS games for a good while. Especially with a game like Elite Beat Agents, it doesn't sound like something I would like. And his last question was, if you had 6 women in your room, will you have sex with them or all 6 of them be your girlfriend? That sounds like a very weird question. If there were like 6 women in my room, chances are they're related to me just to wish me happy birthday. And no, they're not there to have sex with me, that would be just wrong. If there was just like 6 random people in my room, I think that things would go horribly wrong because the 5 of them would probably hate each other for like wearing the same outfit. Not to mention they'd be like, oh, why you can fight this chick? Or why is this chick here? And it just would not go well at all. If I want to be with a woman, I'd rather like be with one woman at a time and not focus on any others. I mean, yeah, I'll still have some female friends, but if she's going to be that insecure that I can't have a female friend, then I would just dump her ass, because she's just going to be too jealous and controlling. I don't want that in my life. And as far as, like, balancing girlfriends, I prefer to keep it at one, because I'm sensible like that. Good Gamer 1994 asks, what is your favorite Mario and Luigi game, and why? I kind of did like Partners in Time an awful bit, even though some people didn't like it. Bowser's Inside Story was awesome. Personally, I'd have to go with Bowser's Inside Story, even though I never fully finished it yet. It just added more to the game. However, the one thing that I did not like about Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was having to use your stylus for like the big Bowser battles. And I kind of wish they didn't go back to that kind of thing with the big Luigi battles in Dream Team for the 3DS. I just don't like using my stylus for this kind of thing, because sometimes it doesn't register the way you want it to. And it just causes a little bit of problems. Not to mention, like, doing the stuff with the stylus all the time can really put some wear and tear on your touch screen, so I'm not really a fan of those. But I did like the plot of Bowser's Inside Story, and I liked to play as Bowser. He was cool. Alright, the Blue Amergen has 3 questions. 1, what is your favorite Final Fantasy game? I'm surprised people still don't know that by now, because I always lament about it so much. It's Final Fantasy VI. Who is your favorite superhero? Probably Spider-Man or Batman. It's usually one of the two. And do you like anime? I don't really watch a lot of anime, but if it was on, I wouldn't just change the channel right away. It's like, oh, we got anime, I can't watch this, it's so awful. Ugh. But there are some animes that just totally out there. The translations are so weird. And just a lot of things that don't make sense. But I mean, if it was on, and it was just happened to be on the TV, then I'll watch some of it. I don't really care what it is. I'll just This is better than other crap that's on TV these days. Jude22 asks, do you like to watch Jeopardy? And do you like it when the announcer says, "This is Jeopardy"? Sometimes I watch Jeopardy with my sister, and she's very smart at it. In terms of the announcer saying it, well, I don't really get emotionally attached to, like, game show intros, that kind of thing. But I do like watching Jeopardy from time to time. Hideo L. Ryushima asks, what type of laptop do you use and what are the specs? Well, it's an Acer Aspire laptop, and it's like 6 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabyte hard drive, 15.6-inch HD LED LCD screen with Intel HD graphics, and some other stuff I don't really care about. He also asks, do you own any other electronics besides a television and game console? Well, I got a cell phone. I got a Samsung Galaxy S3 that right now needs to be charged like almost every couple days now because it's getting a little out there. Any other electronics? As far as I know, that's pretty much it. Just like TV, game consoles, and handhelds. So yeah, I don't really own a lot. I used to own a Palm Pilot, but I think I gave it to my dad. I don't remember if I did or not, because I don't use it anymore. Tashinian asks, have you ever heard of a music group called Kent? And if you heard of them, do you think they're good? No, I have not heard of them. I've heard of Kent Building Supplies, which is here in Newfoundland or other parts of Atlantic Canada that deal with building supplies for residential or commercial businesses. But they're not really a music band. Apparently they're a Swedish indie alternative band, and while I'm not a big fan, that's his question, a few of the songs like Generation EX and Den Döda Vinkeln are really good. I really hope I did not butcher the Swedish accent right there, otherwise LP Growers would kill me. But yeah, maybe I'll check them out someday. I'm not saying when, but who knows, it could be once I'm done with this Q&A. Anime Manga Gamer asks, congrats to you, Bong, on your 6-year anniversary of Let's Plays along with over 14,000 subs. Well, thank you. Meanwhile, here are my questions. Have you ever bought or collected any Nintendo Power magazines? Oh yeah, I've bought like several Nintendo Power magazines. I think they're all put in the trash by now because they've gotten very old. Also, how would you feel right now if you were to read all 285 issues of Nintendo Power Brothers to check out the issue cover, ads, articles, artwork, strategies, or even the images coming from the game itself? That would actually be a long, tall order to go through all 285 issues. Normally, for me, when I'm getting through like one issue, it might take somewhere between a half hour to an hour, depending on how much detail I want to look into like one of the magazines. And sometimes when I actually am reading them, I do get enthralled. Like for instance, like when me and my mom were heading over to see somebody at the hospital, and it was in the winter, I was reading one of those magazines that was covering Banjo-Tooie. She ran across a bit of ice, and we were all like spinning out. Everyone was screaming, and I was like, I'm trying to read this whole thing about Mumbo Jumbo. Can you guys keep it down a bit? And they were all shocked at me, like, how can you stay calm? We almost spun out and got killed. We didn't get killed? Could have gotten killed. That means we didn't. We're okay. Let's keep going. I sometimes get a bit too calm about these kinds of things, but that actually happened, and I was a teenager at the time. You know, as if that really mattered to anyone. Vicious0111 asks, what kind of coffee do you like to drink? The liquid kind. Yeah, the liquid kind. But in terms of brand, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, any kind of brand is good. Though, I find that, Americano or... oh, what's it called? No, Cafe Crema. That's what it's called. I find that stuff very bitter and foul. That's probably the part of coffee I do not like. But, you know, like anything from my Tassimo brewer, whether it be like Nabob, Maxwell House, or almost any kind of no-name brand, I'll drink it because coffee is coffee. Unless it's the instant kind, and you can really distinguish Nescafe from pretty much anything else. Even Marge Simpson had to apologize for having it once. One of those old episodes. Big Mac Special Sauce says, "Hey Bonga, you're gonna play as Mega Man in Smash Bros. And are you going to stream the game? And do you read One Piece because it's the best manga there is?" And in terms of Smash Bros, I'll probably play as Mega Man, get used to him, and knowing me, somebody else will end up being my main. No, I will not be streaming the game because I don't really have a 3DS capture card, and I don't want to use a cell phone to stream Smash Bros. Plus, right now I'm still waiting on that demo so that I can actually play it before the 19th. And as for One Piece, I don't really read any manga, and in terms of it being the best manga there is, well, that's subjective. Really, a personal opinion cannot be determined as a fact. It's an opinion. Some people might disagree with you, thinking that something else is the best manga. Well, it's your favorite manga. That's totally understandable. You can have a favorite whatever you want, and that's totally fine. Fireman21134 says, well, he's got a few questions. Oh, that's just my cell phone going off. I'm not going to answer that text message. Do you ever sign up for fantasy leagues? That's not a text. Do you ever sign up for fantasy leagues like the sports ones? And if you do, which one do you sign up for the most? Well, I signed up for a couple hockey ones several years ago when I was in college, and then I just didn't do it anymore because I don't do that well. Apparently, I always find myself hovering in either 5th or 8th out of 8 people. And his other question was, what does your daily routine for a day usually consist of? Maybe I'll wake up, I'll use the bathroom, change Lola's pad, give her some food, give her some water, get myself some coffee, turn the computer on, check through my comments, go on Facebook, and then I'm going to just do other things across my day, like maybe walk the dog after lunch, that kind of thing. Or if it's on the weekend, I'll just hang out with Ryan Bragg, Colin L112, and Colette NL180. So there's many different things that I'll probably do in a certain day. Alright, and his last question was, who is your most favorite Pokemon and video game character, and why? In terms of favorite Pokemon, I would still say Alakazam or Umbreon, though I think others like Gengar are creeping up in there. And what other Pokemon am I getting attached to in Gen 6? Talonflame. I really like him, even though he seems like a generic Firebird. He's really helped me out a lot in the Elite Four and the Champion. Oh, and that Pinsir I got at a Nintendo event was really wrecking ass as well. So, unfortunately, I don't have the Mega Stone for Pinsir because I got Pokemon Y, therefore I have to get the Mega Stone for Heracross. Which is disappointing, even though I like Heracross because it's bug and fighting. I just found Pinsir, all too powerful. I'm like, man, if I had just had your Mega Stone, you would probably be Satan in bug form. And as for video game characters, it's hard to say. I do like Mario or Link or what other ones do I like? Terra from Final Fantasy VI because they're powerful characters, but they don't really have those annoying flaws. Yeah, Link doesn't talk, he just grunts, and that's okay. And that kind of thing. He said his most favorite Pokemon would be one of the Eevee evolutions. As for a video game character, he says either Link or Zelda. And that's cool. A lot of people like Link or Zelda. Once Hyrule Warriors comes out, Zelda is going to be even better as a character because you can actually play as her and she can actually kill things. Don't we want a Zelda that kills things? Yeah, I think we all want that. Prince Watercress asks, have you ever considered using Patreon to fund the creation of future Let's Plays, / make Let's Playing a full-time job, get out of the working man's world, and any or other of the above? I've heard of Patreon, but I'd rather wait a while before I can actually consider myself using it. I'm not at the point where I feel I'm going to need funding from my fan base or donations anytime soon. I feel that I can sustain myself for the time being, but if it ever got to a point where if I don't get funding or donations, I can't continue it anymore, then I'll use Patreon. Until then, it's probably not going to happen. And I don't see myself getting out of the working industry and focus solely on YouTube. Because, let's face it, YouTube's not going to be around forever. A lot of people are going to complain about it or leave it if they make many drastic changes. YouTube can find itself losing a bit of money, whether it be by lawsuit or God knows what else. Maybe they got other adventures, and then they just create something else, and then YouTube's gone. Then what else are we going to do? Do we still get compensated for it? I don't know. So, YouTube should only be like something that you do, but always have a plan B or a plan C. Like, actually have them in place as soon as possible, otherwise it's just going to get hairy if YouTube were to go down for some strange reason. You know, it could be hacked as well. Patros2006 asks, will you ever do Atari games? I don't see it happening anytime soon, but never say never. James Yoder asks, hey Bong, have you ever played any of the Lunar games? I've played the first one, but I haven't played any others. If I do Let's Play the first one, then that opens the potential for the other ones to be done as well. Nick the Gamer 1110 asks, hey Bong, I have another question. What was one of your favorite games you Let's Play? Probably Final Fantasy VI Advance. That would definitely be my favorite. And also, what series took the longest to edit when you recorded it? If anything, I would have said Final Fantasy, but that didn't really have a lot of editing. Probably the Paper Mario series. Even though I've only done 2 games of it so far, there was a lot of editing to be had, such as like repetitive battles and backtracking to previous areas. He also says that he loves my videos and hopes I do Crash Bandicoot WOC. Oh, that means Wrath of Cortex. I got that for the GameCube. Oh, yeah. Maybe someday. Paul Province asks, who do you like better, Link or Mario? I grown up with Mario, but I feel like I get along better with Link because he just has so much more to his arsenal. William the Unpro Pro asks, have you thought about Let's Playing RPG Maker games? Someday in the future, other than the Chronicles of a Dark Lord games. I picked up a couple on Steam, and I don't really want to reveal them until later. Though, if some people already have me on Steam, they can always go to my library and they'll see them there. ShadTH15 asks, is there a chance you would LP a large SRPG/VN such as Alchemy Meister, God Captor? I mean, it took me over 250 hours to complete most of the game, and I'm still not done with it. That sounds like something that would be kind of terrible to Let's Play if it takes you over 250 hours and still not get everything with it. I'll have to look that game up to see what it's all about. If it was like a strategy RPG, you know, something like Civilization or other things, I probably don't see myself Let's Playing it because it'll probably take way too long. Gaming Addict 820 says, oh, he didn't really have a question. He just said that, mentioned something about a hack that he's going to check it out. Just Here 211 asks, will ever Let's Play Kingdom Hearts or no? Don't know why I put 2 spaces between hearts or. But anyways, oh, he actually spelled as King Odom Hearts. Maybe he was just doing that on his phone, and sometimes you do get typos. But I don't see myself Let's Playing Kingdom Hearts anytime soon, because, you know, third-party kind of stuff. And besides, it seems a bit overrated to me. Ernest Hickman says, when will you do your next Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's Play? Well, the Falsebound Kingdom is coming really soon, so it's going to be different from traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! Games where it's actually kind of like Ogre Battle 64, where you just gotta select 3 types of monsters to take with you for like each person and then take it from there. So it'll be a very interesting Let's Play because there's like multiple campaigns you can do. And DC Gohan asks, any chance of, say, Star Ocean 2 for PS1? Well, wait till I actually do the first Star Ocean and then we'll see what happens. So, anyways, oh wait, no, there's actually more. I thought I actually ended off there because what I'm seeing right here in my comments section is just some questions that I removed because they were quite inflammatory. Phil Massey asks, what all systems do you have for your Let's Plays? It seems a bit weirdly worded, but I understand it. But anyways, I have a GameCube. No, I don't have a GameCube. I have a Wii that can still play GameCube games. And a PlayStation 2. If I branched out to like a more high-end capture software, I got a Wii U and a PS3. And I also got PC games as well. Knight asks, for this week's question, are there any parts from previous Kirby games you wish would come back? For me, it is Yo-Yo. I kind of wish they had the ability to combine abilities like they did in Kirby 64. Like, the fire sword and the double-edged lightsaber. That was pretty awesome. I hope they bring that back, like a hybrids type of style. LP Grotus actually has 4 questions. Who or whom is your favorite Soul Calibur characters? For males, it would be Siegfried, aka Nightmare. And for females, I actually liked playing as Talim. His next question was, have you ever considered LPing Ico and or Shadow of the Colossus? I don't know if I'm saying Ico right. I don't know about Ico because I hear it's a bit weird and puzzly. Shadow of the Colossus, however, I would greatly consider because I do have the HD version, and I've played through some of it, but I never got a chance to finish yet. His third question was, have you ever played Star Fox Adventures? If so, what did you think about it? Believe it or not, I actually used to own Star Fox Adventures, and then I traded it away. And I thought it was okay. It was okay, but kind of shallow. I wish it had more of those, like, R-Wing type stages, and I just wish there was, like, a little bit more action. It seems like the action was a bit short and disappointing. Like, there should have been more to it. I don't know. Star Fox Adventures felt a bit rushed to me. And his last question was, which is the worst Nintendo franchise in your opinion? To be honest with you, that'd be hard to say. If I said F-Zero, I'd have a lot of people on my ass. So, yeah, I'm gonna say F-Zero because I suck at these kind of racing games. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's the absolute worst of all time. It's just, like, the least favorite in my opinion. And Ryu from Ninja Gaiden is in a fighting game, by the way. Oh yeah, he's just saying he's in the Dead or Alive series. Darklit Zelda asks, like, anyway, which video game character do you think is the most powerful and or versatile overall? Again, I would probably go with Link from Legend of Zelda. He doesn't really have a lot of personal flaws, even though he doesn't talk, he doesn't need to. He's very resourceful with any kind of dungeon or item that he finds. Like, he knows how to use them right away. And when it comes to, like, giant creatures, he always finds a way to exploit weak spots. And he doesn't really give in to the temptation of women. Like, in Ocarina of Time, he had so many that wanted to bed him. But he was like, hey man, I got something to do, I don't give in to your temptations, that kind of thing. Like, he's just wants to save the world, and if he doesn't get any fame or grandeur from it, he's like, okay, on to the next adventure. Magiskawiak asks, when you do voices for characters in games, do you make any faces or do any gestures to help you get into a mood for them? I wouldn't really say I do faces, though I do move my hand around when I have to emphasize or embellish certain words in the dialogue. That sometimes helps me, believe it or not. You might think, oh no, it doesn't. It does, because you're actually encouraging yourself to get your voice acting across. And the last question, Bona Bona, he has like 4 questions. Wow. How long do you Let's Play for a day? What times of the day do you prefer? I Let's Play whenever I can. Because I know that maybe there are some days I won't be able to at all, so I figured I'd get as much footage done as possible, so that I'll have it ready for like several days in advance. And as for the time of the day, I prefer like the afternoon or the evening, because I won't get a lot done in the morning. I'll still be groggy and stuff. And what will be your next Let's Play? Well, my next Let's Play, I'd rather keep it a surprise. I tend not to like when people ask, are you going to do this game, or what's your next project going to be? I like to keep people surprised. Personally, like, even though I have a Let's Play list, I don't really tell people what I'm going to do next on that list. I'd rather people get surprised rather than spoiled right away. He also asks, how old am I? I'm 27, but I'll be 28 really shortly. In fact, 5 days from now, I'll be 28. He also asks, are there any games you would like to Let's Play but are too expensive? Skies of Arcadia is pretty expensive right now. I'm talking about the GameCube version because it's so rare. And, well, there are some others, but the most notable one is definitely Skies of Arcadia. And his last question was, If you had an original Xbox, what games would you LP? Let's see. I don't really know that many games for the original Xbox. I know my cousin had an original Xbox, but all he had was like sports games and games that weren't sports, like Mech Assault, he just never played. So I wouldn't really know what Xbox game to LP. I would have to look up that library if I actually did get one. So, anyways, that's it. Thank you all for listening in to my questions and answers, and I'll have more for you next week. But that's really up to you guys, right? So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.